Hi, and welcome back to Box Office Maniacs, and tonight I am going to be doing something a little weird that I have never done before. I am going to tell you what I got at the flea market. And you might be saying to yourself, why do I care what you got at the flea market? Well, it's because when I go to the flea market, I always look for certain items. I always look for movie-related stuff. I look for soundtracks, I look for action figures, I look for Lego-related things. So it's mostly everything that's related to this channel I look for at the flea market. So I know I do have some fans over in the UK, I know I have some fans in Germany, and some fans in some other places here. So I was kind of thinking, I wonder if they have flea markets in those places. Because it might be just a thing here in the States. I'm not 100% sure. So if you're sitting here watching this video, and if you're in Germany, you'll be like, what, the flea market? Do they sell fleas? What do they sell there? Well, I was explaining it to you just a little bit. If you don't know what the flea market is, it is sort of like a garage sale. It's like a big area. The one we went to probably has hundreds, 200, 300, 400 tables, and people sell their old used junk at the flea market. So it's used stuff that other people have or they found and they don't want. But sometimes you do find new things as well, new things in packages, or things you don't think you're looking for and you end up finding there. And that's kind of what happened here when we went to the flea market the last time. Now, I go to the one here in St. Louis here called the Wentzville Flea Market, and it's about 45 minutes away from where I live. And it's huge. Like I said, it's a gigantic flea market. Most of the time I go, the big thing I look for is CDs, soundtracks, try to get them cheap, vinyl records even, and Legos and action figures. So this time I actually found all the above there. And we had a really good haul there at the flea market. So I thought, hey, you know, I'm just going to get on here and make a video and show you some of the cool stuff I actually picked up at the flea market. So here you go. Here is the stuff that I got at the flea market, and I hope you enjoy it. First thing up we found was this, the Close Encounters of the Third Kind vinyl album. So this is the actual vinyl album of Close Encounters. And I do have a record player, so yeah, we can play vinyl records. So it's kind of cool to always find vinyl records. And this is actually pretty good shape. It's not in bad shape at all. I think this was like $3 there at the flea market. And here on the back, of course, is this huge thing about Steven Spielberg wrote about John Williams. And over here is side 1 and side 2 of what's on the record. And on the bottom here is some pictures from the film. And the cool thing about this, it actually does open up. So check that out. It's all these people, you know, standing around looking at the spaceship right there up on top. So that's really awesome with vinyl records when, you know, you could get them and then they actually opened up and it has a pretty cool picture on the inside from the film. As for the record, you can see it's in pretty decent shape. You know, it doesn't look like there's any scratches on it, so it looks pretty good. The next vinyl album we found, and this is kind of beat up, is The Muppet Show, which is kind of cool. I love the front cover. I think it's really awesome with Kermit and all the Muppets on there. And on the back, it tells you everything that's on the album. And it's not in great condition. This album is actually not in great condition. It has scratches all over it, as you can see, and we haven't tried to play it yet. But again, it was like $1, so, you know, picked it up just to see if it works. Next up, we found this. More Muppet stuff, which is really weird. We found the Great Muppet Caper, and obviously this is the third Muppet film of the original Muppet films. This is the third one. And it has, I guess, all the songs on here. And I haven't seen the Great Muppet Caper in a long time. So I couldn't even tell you what songs were on there, or if I even remembered any songs. But yeah, it was cheap. Again, it was like $1 or $2, and went ahead and picked it up. The inside sleeve actually has some pictures from the film, and some notes and things here of, looks like the lyrics. And this again is the back of it, and it says side 2. So this would be side 2 of the album. And this one is actually in pretty decent shape, as you can see. So I might as well continue with the Muppet theme here from the flea market. And look, it's Kermit. Check it out. I actually found Kermit there. And I had just been walking by one of the guy's tables. He's like, hey, you interested in Kermit? And I'm like, I started looking at him, and I've never owned, this is a full-size Kermit. I mean, as you can see, he's a huge puppet. And never owned a full-size Kermit before. So I have some of the action figures, but never actually had a stuffed animal of Kermit. And he's like, well, you know, I'll offer you 20 bucks. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, would you take it for 13? I said, sure. I mean, he's in pretty good condition. He doesn't have any tears or rips in him or anything. And, you know, he's really nice. And this says it's the 30th anniversary of the Sesame Street. He actually comes from Sesame Street and not the Muppets, but obviously, you know, that's where he came from. And it's it's really great. I think I got a pretty good deal for him. And the cool thing about him, he does talk. His batteries are low, so I'm going to, you push his chest here and his mouth opens up and closes and he talks. So he's not going to be sounding too great, but this is what he sounds like.
Hello, Kermit here. Everybody sing. I'm a Caribbean amphibian. I like to hop in the tropical sea.
Next up is something I think I really scored well on. This is a Lego case with actual Legos in it. Now these Lego cases themselves go for anywhere between 15, 20 bucks just for the case, maybe even more. And the case actually hangs on your wall so you can display your minis. So you have like the little hooks here on the back. And I do have a couple up on my wall upstairs. But this one actually came with minis, and that's pretty awesome because I don't own any of these minifigures. So here you have sort of the sad clown, and you have a female robot, and you have an elf that comes with a present. And this guy's pretty cool. It's an old-time cop, like sort of looks like a British cop. And this is sort of a random figure. Is a guy with a blowtorch and a helmet. I really like this one a lot. He's the one that kind of convinced me to get it. It looks like sort of the abominable snowman with an ice cream cone. I love that. And I do have a couple of Simpsons figures. I don't have them all. But of course, here's Krusty the Clown. And they wanted 20 bucks for this. I got him down to 15, which I think is a decent price. Because, like I said, each one of these minifigures probably go for $6 a piece or more when you buy them in the store. And I love the case. The case is really cool. It has a button here on top. You push it and this just comes open. So you can take the minifigures out. And you can see the female one here. And they're all really cool. And you know, she has like a wind-up thing on the back that actually comes off and turns. So, it's a really awesome looking robot. Now we get into some random stuff that I was just walking by the table and some guy had this sitting there. I was like, oh cool, C-3PO. And I have no idea where he came from or what series this came from. And it's blurring out here. But I do like these shiny C-3POs, and I think it's pretty cool. I like the fact that he has sort of transparent eyes. You can't really see it that well here. But he's oversized. He has the big arms and the big hands and everything. But I thought he was a pretty cool looking figure. And again, I love this gold plating they had on him. And it was $1. You know, the guy was selling it for $1 on his table. So I picked him up. I said, all right, I'll add C-3PO to my Star Wars collection. Now we're getting to some more random things. I actually found this. It was sitting in a box underneath somebody's table. And I was looking through the box and they actually had this. So I picked it up and I was like, hey, you know, you guys selling this? And he's like, yeah, I'll take $5 for it. And I was like, well, that's kind of expensive. So I didn't take it at first. But he's like, well, you know, because I wanted this and wanted another one, which I'll show you right now. It's this right here. And as you can see how yellowed that is because it's so old. But it's, you know, the Mach 5, obviously. And I was looking at this, and this is the one from the movie, the actual Speed Racer movie they made. And this is the original. And he's like, well, would you take both of them for like $3? And I said, sure, you know, sold. So I ended up getting those. But this one here is actually made by Hot Wheels. And it's pretty cool, you know. It's the Mach 5 from the movie. And it comes with saw blades here that you can attach, I'm assuming, to the front of it. And here's all the stuff you have on the back that you can buy. Or at the time, I guess, was at the stores. So you have Racer X's car. Looks like you can get the car from the movie that has the things that make it bounce up in the air. And all the other cars from the film. So it's pretty cool. Now, back in the day, I used to really collect a lot of Johnny Lightning stuff. I have a ton of Johnny Lightning cars. And they're in cases upstairs in my hallway, to tell you the truth. And one of these days, I might bring them down and review them for you. But this is a pretty cool one. This is a much better one than I actually originally bought. This is my original one that I have, that when it very first came out. of the Johnny Lightning Speed Racers, and it's a pretty cool car, except the only thing is, as you can see, all the paint chipped away from the front of this, and it wasn't like I was sitting there playing with this or anything, you know, I wasn't just like running around outside or nothing. It just literally chipped away as soon as I opened up the package and started looking at it, so all the paint chips just came off of it. But this one obviously is much more detailed. It actually has the lights underneath, the hood opens up, so it's pretty cool. The back of it actually has the black where the tailpipes are. And speaking of soundtracks, this is the only soundtrack I actually found there. Dirty Dancing, and don't go crazy, folks, but I've never seen this movie. I know, it's one of those movies that I've never seen, and I went and was like, oh, soundtrack for Dirty Dancing. All right, I'll pick it up. I've never heard it because I've never seen the movie. It seems like it has pretty good songs on it, and I think I picked it up for like $2. So that was the only soundtrack I ended up finding there at the flea market. Now, the last thing I got is really, really, really random, especially for me, and that is this right here. This is, for those who don't know, Astro Boy, because I have no idea who he is either. And it was sitting there on a table, and I started looking at it, and I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. And I just like it because, you know, I kind of know who Astro Boy is. I know he's a robot, but other than that, I don't have a clue as to who he is, who built him, where he came from, anything. But I really like this figure. It was a weird, unusual figure, so I picked him up because you see his eyes are closed, and it looks like he has a thing in his chest that you can open up. And the detail here is really nice, actually. It looks like it's really well articulated. I don't know, it's a weird figure, and it's one of those things, I can't remember how much I paid for it, $3, $4, something like that. So yeah, it's just like, all right, I'll pick him up. I got the sleeping one. Well, here he is, he's sleeping. So it's the first figure I ever got that just, he sleeps. So there you go, there's some weird stuff I got at the flea market. It's just random things I picked up. And I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I had a lot of fun making it. I always enjoy going to the flea market, so if you want to see more of my flea market adventures, let me know, and I'll film some more for you. We go probably once every other month there. We don't go too often because it's so far away. But next time I go, if you like the video, I'll post what I picked up if I get some interesting stuff. I doubt if I get anything as interesting as Sleeping Astro Boy, but you never know. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't want to miss my next adventure at the flea market or any other videos that we end up posting here on the channel. And become one of our Maniacs. We'll love to have you, and I love to read all your comments. So until next time, I'll see you here on Box Office Maniac.